Okay, so training video for Opensong for St. Albans. First of all, you have to make sure that you've plugged in the computer, HDMI cables in, the sound cable is in, basically that goes onto the right hand side of the mic cable, and the mouse plug is in because you'll want to use the round tracking ball in order to scroll up and down in Opensong. So going into Opensong is fairly simple. You double click on the Opensong icon to the left. That remote server error is only because I am currently recording this presentation, so you can ignore that. And as you'll see, the Opensong will open up on the last presentation that has been recorded on it. In this case, it will be the 11th Sunday after Pentecost, 21 August, and you can see that all the other previous presentations are on here, but we don't want to go onto that because this is just how to present it. Now, because the computer is not linked to a other presentation, you would have to, when you click present, it will only show single screen and preview view screen in this screen. But when you are doing it and you have logged on and the monitor is on and it's showing, there will be another screen below here which will say dual screen. That is the option that you choose. The preview view screen is just for us to see how it would look when we actually go in it. So I'm clicking the preview dual screen, and you see that this is the display for what will be on the monitor area, and this is what will be displayed on your computer. As you note, the item just changed there without me touching. So what had happened is this is set on a loop for the notices, so that every 10 seconds a new notice will receive, and we have a blank page so that at least just for 10 seconds show a nice entry over here. But otherwise it will scroll and you don't have to worry about that. It will do that on its own. So as soon as you come in, you can put it on and it will scroll. So now the next item that you need to know is the direction arrows, which will be up and down. As you see, I'm going up, which will display the item which is highlighted as I go up. If I go down, same thing occurs. It will display it as I go down. You can also push the space bar for down, because generally speaking, that will be the main control that you use when giving the presentation, just scrolling down one at a time through each slide. However, further is the right and the left button, and you'll notice here at the bottom there is a black line which is indicative of the next set of slide screens, and you can go immediately to that by pushing the right arrow. So if I push the right arrow, it immediately goes to stand for the intro redeems, and if you note, if I go two down, the intro redeem is on its own section, and then God of Grace, which is the intro redeem itself, is on a different section, which is why if I'm on the intro redeem and I right click again, it will go to the first verse of God of Grace. If I right click again, it will go to the first line of the introductory. So if you left click, same process but in reverse, it will go up. Now there will be sections where items are more than one item where this becomes useful. For example, after the Gospel we have the Nicene Creed. However, on occasion the lay ministers will inform you they don't want to do the Nicene Creed, they'll prefer to do the Baptismal Creed. So if you're on this section, what you can do is you can freeze it on that section and push the right arrow twice. So the first time would be Nicene Creed, but you will note that this is what the actual slide is, but it's not showing on this screen because you've frozen it on this picture. And then if you push the right mouse button again, you will be on the Apostles' Creed, and once more you're on the Baptismal Creed. So if they are on the Baptismal Creed and once you have it, then you will click normal or push the end button. You'll note that this the letters in the brackets would be the normal, K for black, white. So if you push those on the keyboard, to automatically go into that section as well. So K for black, W for white, or you can click on it for hidden, which will only show the background, no words that you have, or N for normal, which I'll push, or you can click and you'll see that that screen comes up. So it's a useful tool to just move around without the congregation seeing how you're moving around, just to hide or put it on a frozen screen while you look through what section you must be. Alternatively, if you're here and you want to do it fast, you can just either use the wheel on the tracking button to move down, which also won't affect the screen, or you can just click down there and then click on the baptismal screen, whichever you prefer. So in this section we do not yet have an order of service, so as it is a long service, we have used the fourth Eucharistic prayer, which is the shorter of the services. However, if Father or someone wishes to add another order of service, this will have to be added afterwards. Okay, so to continue, we are now going to show you how to add another song, which also includes not only songs but the four Eucharistic prayers. So let's say we wish to add the third Eucharistic prayer. You click on Add Song, or the Q, which is this section over here, and then that will open up an additional window. And remember, this will be a lot faster when I'm not busy recording it by using the software. And you see there is the third Eucharistic prayer, or you can type it out, third Eucharistic prayer, and it will come up, or some of them are written as words. So first Eucharistic prayer, which will be the words there, but in this case we are doing the third, so we type out the third, enter, and to bring up the third Eucharistic prayer, as you can see below the item that you were there. So it depends on what the priest wants, but in this case we have loaded the fourth Eucharistic prayer. But if you need to add a third Eucharistic prayer, that's how you do it. Similarly, if you want to add a song, you click on this section here, Q for add song. It will bring up the list of songs, and you can add a song that you wish. For example, Shine Jesus Shine, and it's easy to type out the full word and to look for words that come. You click add, and then at the end of that, I'm using the right arrow now to go to it. You see that Shine Jesus Shine has been added. Similarly, for scripture, you click on the S, and you'll note that the scripture comes up here, Old Testament or New Testament, and you note that it's chapter from verse to verse. So for example, if you have chapter 17 of, or chapter 13 of the Gospel according to St. Mark, beginning at the 13th verse and ending at verse 21, that would be the items that you add. And then you click display now, which will immediately display the item on screen, which will be the first item where you start. And you can use this section here to click on the arrows to go left or right. Note the arrow keys don't work. In this case, you actually have to click on the icon here, left or right. As you can see here, there are different versions. So if you wanted to display that in Afrikaans instead, you click on the Afrikaans, and again display now, take you back to the 13th verse, and again you can scroll through it. If you wanted the Amplified, Common English Version, English Standard Version, Good News Bible, King James Version, etc., you click on those items that you want to have and display now, and it will display those sections. And then when you finish, you just click on the done button, and that will then go away, and you'll note that it hasn't been added to the service. If you do want to add it to the service, you'll click on, instead of saying display now, you'll click on add, and then that section with that particular version, in this case a New King James Version, will be added to the service screen. Um, these are just some extra items which you don't really need to know, but the alert section is to pop up messages that come up. So for example, car's lights is on, you click it in, you say okay, and then that will show there. If you want to take it away, you click alert again, you say leave it blank, and that will clear it. And that's basically the way to use it. One last section, which I'll add in a different video as well, is how to input a presentation. If someone gives you a presentation that they wish to add, like a PowerPoint presentation, you can go to the point where you want to insert it. So let's say they want to have that after the or just before the gospel. So the gospel reading is there. Post gospel, we want to add an image and we want to import the PowerPoint presentation. So it's image, import, and this will open up a screen, quiet time, or wherever it is on the USB that you have, and you say insert, and then it'll add a list of slides to it. So remember, this must be done before the service starts and before you present it in terms of due present, because you're actually drawing up. And if you go to that item, which you can rename to be whatever item, so you can see it here. So in this case, it's quiet time. You can rename that, and then you click above that in order for it to be saved. And if we were to have a look at it, again, present preview screen, or in our case it would have been dual screen to show it on the monitor. And you'll note that there's a post gospel, the song that Gene sometimes sings, which you can skip if there's another song, and then the presentation would be as per the documents, and you can just use the direction arrows up and down to go through it, or click on the slide that you wish, or of course the spacebar key in order to go through it. And it's that simple to add an additional document from PowerPoint to the existing slide without going through anything else. And now I will delete that slide by removing it, because it's not part of our service tomorrow, and then go back to set mode, which it is. Now what I prefer to do is, if there are songs to be played, for example on the quiet day there was a particular playlist that can be used. The quiet day program, you click on it, those items have been moved, but you note that it opens up the system, and then you can have that on itself separately, which you'll move to the right hand side of the screen to go across on the other screen. And you can then have the VLC program with your songs and your Opensong playing at the same time. And with your playlist open, you only need to click on the song to have it play, but those songs, as I said, have been removed from this particular playlist. Thank you. I hope this helps. Goodbye.